Hello everyone and welcome back to FIFA 22's career mode. Today we're looking at the best young attacking midfielders you can pick up with an 80 plus potential if you are in League 2. Now this is an interesting list. There are players that are cheaper than others, there are players that are better than others, there's players with better potential. But all of these players on this list are available in League 2 and they have an 80 plus. I'll go through them all one by one. Some might suit you more than others, but I want to give you all the options just in case. Right, we're starting things off then with João Grimaldo. Central attacking midfielder and can also play right wing as well. 790 to 1.05 million, 61 starting ability with an 80 potential, so not the best player on the list, but one of the cheapest and probably one of the more bargain players on the list you can pick up, and obviously can play that right wing position as well should you need him to, so a good versatile player. Next up, Moritz Kjaergaard. I'm going to be butchering a lot of names today, so I do apologise. 9.8 to 1.45 million, 62 starting ability, 80 potential. Can also play centre mid as well as cam. Definitely an option. I mean, I'm not quite sure you'll be able to do some player swaps with Red Bull, but it's worth a try. And you might be able to get this guy for a very, very good price. 80 potential is not the best on the list, however, it is still a very good player that's going to progress you all the way to the Premiership and a player who you can sell for a massive profit in the future. Next up then, we have got Ivan Saranic, 1.4 to 2.1 million. He does start at a 63 and he has a potential of 82. I've had to scout these players for a couple of weeks, which is why he's already moved up to a 64. And he is looking like a pretty decent player. Can also play right wing as well as cam, of course. And that 82 potential is very good. You might be able to play a swap with Dynamo Zagreb as well and get him even cheaper than that 1.4 to 2.1 million. Next up, Alex Cardero, central mid as well as central attacking mid. 1.05 to 1.15 is possibly a bit of a bargain. 63 current ability with that 82 potential. I do feel like this is probably one of the better priced players on this list. For the value of what you're getting now and his potential as well, this one is a bit of a bargain. Next up, Tino Anjorin, 64 rated at the beginning with an 82 potential, 1.6 to 2.4 million, can also play central mid as well as cam. Again, he's got an 82 potential, so definitely worth picking up. However, there are cheaper players on this list with the same potential. So maybe not worth it, but if you've got the financial takeover, then you can do whatever the hell you want, I suppose, can't you? Next up, Vasilis Saulis. He is 64 rated at the beginning with an 82 potential, 1.4 to 2 million to pick him up, and he is a pretty solid player who can cover all of your midfield positions, central mid, central defensive mid, as well as central attacking mid as well. So definitely worth a look. However, I mean, actually no, there's probably quite a good price, to be honest, 1.4 to 2 million. For a player of that value. It's probably quite a good price compared to some of the others on this list, so definitely worth a look. Next up is Giannis Konstantelias. Nailed it. Cam as well as a right winger. 64 starting rating with an 81 potential, so not the best option. I feel like for the money there are better options elsewhere on this list. There's better potentials and there's better value for money, so he is available but not possibly one that I would go for. Next up, Martin Baturina, 2.1 million to 3.1 million. He is 64 at the beginning of the game with an 83 potential, so pretty but he is available should you want to pick him up. Next, Andreas Sheldrup, 1.9 million to 2.75 million. Can play left wing as well as striker, so you've got a good versatile player here. 65 starting ability with an 84 potential, so the best potential we've had so far on this list. And I think value for money is possibly better. I mean, it's obviously better than Baturina already, so definitely worth a look. And again, a very good versatile player, can play several positions. If you've got the financial takeover, this could be a great option to have in your squad to be able to cover lots of positions, maybe even from the bench or maybe as a starter. Next up, Beñat Turrientes, 2.1 to 3 million. Can play all the way across midfield, centre mid, cam and CDM. He is a 65 starting ability, 82 potential, so an absolutely fantastic signing, of course. He is good value for money. I do think there's better value for money elsewhere, but he is pretty decent is an option for you, but I don't think he's the best one. There's a couple of names coming on this list that you're going to want to see because they're absolutely fantastic signings. Next up, Castriot Emery, 66 starting ability, 81 potential, 2.3 to 3.2 million. Can play left wing as well as cam and central mid. Again, a good versatile player. Not the best value for money on this list, but he is an option, especially if you want somebody who can play several positions and cover several positions. So he's available, but not one I would suggest. Next up, we've got David Larrubia. 1.8 to 2 million is a pretty good value, to be honest, at this point in the list. 66 ability, however, his potential is only 80, so slightly lower than some of the other players around him. But that current ability and the value are looking pretty decent for League 2. So definitely an option. There might still be better value for money lower on the list, so don't rush into it yet, but definitely one worth thinking of. Next up, Matthias Palacios, 2.9 to 4.3 million, 67 current ability, 82 potential. I mean, he's better current ability, better potential, but that value is quite high. And again, I think there's better players in this list, better value for money on this list. Next up, Isaac Bergman Johansson, 2.8 to 4.25 million, 67 starting ability, 82 potential. 2.8 to 4.25 million. Well, you can get him for less than that. We can say 2.8 to 3.8 million because obviously you can get his release fee if you need to. Again, a player who can cover several positions, so definitely worth a look at. But again, I think there's better value elsewhere on the list, but he is available should you want him. Next up, Ryotaro Araki. 3 million to 4.6 million, 67 current ability, 80 potential. Probably not really worth it. There's better value for money elsewhere on the list, but he is available should you want him. Could also play right mid and left mid, so again, a good player who can cover several positions, especially from the bench, but there's better value for money elsewhere. Next up, Francho Serrano, 2.8 to 4.0 million, 67 starting ability, 82 potential. So a good solid player. There's good value there. I think there's better value elsewhere, and the next player will be that one I'm looking for. But yeah, definitely worth a look. But this is the one that I would definitely look at a bit more. Well, this is interesting. This says 3 million to 4.45 million for Fabio Carvalho. Now, I have run a couple of these career modes for different videos, and some of the others have had him for less than this, so it's definitely worth a look. I think the one I had last time was between 2 and 3 million. So definitely worth a look, but this guy, 67 starting ability, 86 potential. If you are running with the financial takeover, this should be one of your priorities. This guy will come in and dominate your team for the entirety of your career mode, all the way to the top end of the Premiership. So definitely one that I would focus on. If you aren't running financial takeover, this might be out of your price range. However, if you can pick him up, like I said, you can have a talisman player for the entirety of this career mode. So definitely worth a look. Next up, Gaspar Campos, 2.9 to 4.1 million. We have got a player who is 67 starting ability, 81 potential. Can play left mid and right mid as well, so a good player to have around the squad who can cover several positions. But again, at that sort of value, I think there's better value for money elsewhere. But he is available should you want him. Next up, Louis Sibley. I've been on this list for a few years now. 3.2 to 4.6 million. 68 starting ability with an 82 potential. Decent. Can play right mid as well. I feel like there's better value elsewhere. I think, obviously, Carvalho's cheaper with a better potential, so I'll probably go for him, to be honest. But this guy is still available. Why not? Why not look at him? Next up, Kazba Kozlowski, 3.6 to 5.4 million, 68 current ability. He has got an 85 potential, so an absolutely fantastic player to try and pick up if you can. Yeah, definitely worth a look. If you can get the old player swaps in, you might be able to get them a bit cheaper. If you've got financial takeover, definitely this one and Carvalho are two that you're going to want to really focus on early on. If you've not got a financial takeover, again, it's going to be very difficult to pick him up. But again, it's a player of an 85 potential that's going to really help you dominate for the entirety of your career mode, so definitely worth a look. Next up then we've got Zeljko Gavrik. 3.2 to 4.4 million, 68 current ability, 81 potential, so a good player now. Potential is a bit lower than some of the other players around him on the list. Can play right mid and left mid as well. I mean, it's up to you. You're going to make a profit no matter what. It's not a waste of money. But spending money on this guy is money you could spend on somebody else with a higher potential. So I personally wouldn't go for this one. But if you're desperate for a player who's very strong in these positions, it's definitely worth a look. Next up, we've got Brennan Johnson, the Welshman from Nottingham Forest. 3.7 to 5.2 million, 69 current ability, 82 potential. If you've got financial takeover, this is definitely worth a look. If you haven't, I would stay away, not just because the 3.7 to 5.2 million, but the £14,000 weekly wage is very expensive as well. So not really the best option unless you've got unlimited funds. But if you have got unlimited funds, definitely one that you can have a look at. 69 rated in League 2 is going to be very, very dominant. So easy promotion if you do get him. And the final man on the list is Luka Sukic. 3.8 to 5.6 million, can play cam, central mid and right mid. 69 starting ability, 83 potential. So a very solid player who I think would be very good for anyone in League 2. Quite expensive. That 83 potential though does really make it better. If you are running financial takeover, this is definitely one to have a look at. If you're not, it's going to be very much out your price range, I believe. But that's it. That's the list of central attacking midfielders available for League 2 teams. If I have missed anyone, let me know in the comment section down below and we'll add them onto a future list. And of course, I hope this has been helpful for you. If it has, then hit that like button. And of course, subscribe if you'd like to see some more. I've done one of these for every position so far. We'll also be doing the best and the best bargains as well on a separate video. So make sure you check those ones out. Good night. God bless. I'll be the same. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.